Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here on this afternoon for another installment of Around the World with Karen and Nicole. Today's story is Tasty Baby Belly Buttons, a story from Japan. And it is brought to you in partnership with the Riverside Art Museum and part of the City of Riverside's First Sundays program. My name is Katie Porter, and I'm Executive Director of Inlandia Institute, a literary and cultural arts nonprofit based in inland Southern California. Before we begin, Inlandia Institute respectfully acknowledges and recognizes our responsibility to the original and current caretakers of this land, water, and air, the Cahuilla, Tongva, Luiseno, and Serrano peoples, and all of their descendants, past, present, and future. Today, the Inlandia region is home to many Indigenous peoples from all over the world, and we express our gratitude to them for allowing us the opportunity to live and work on these homelands. Now, about our presenters. Shall we meet them? Karen Rae Kraut has been blending story, song, and movement in schools, libraries, museums, and theaters from California to East Tennessee since 1990. Let's welcome Karen Rae Kraut.
Hi, everybody. So glad you could join us.
And our puppeteer, Nicole Cloeren, is the founder of Puppets a la Carte, where she uses puppets and techniques of improvisation to create a space of surprise and wonder. Welcome, Nicole.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Later today, we are going to learn about playing with nature puppets. So stay tuned after the story. See you then.
So now let's hand it over to Karen and we'll get started on our story. Welcome, Karen.
Hi again, everyone. And as Katie mentioned, this story comes from the country of Japan. And Katie has put together a nice map for us to take a quick look at, so we can kind of see where Japan is in relation to the other countries that are near it. You can see it's an island country, and right across the Japan Sea is Russia, China, and the two Koreas. So that gives you a sense of where it is on planet Earth. And the book that this story is based on is a wonderful picture book by the very well-known storyteller and puppeteer, Judy Sierra. And Katie has also prepared for us a nice image from the book cover, and it's called Tasty Baby Belly Buttons. Yes. So here's how the story goes. Long ago, in the country of Japan, there was a gang of oni. Now, maybe you don't know what an oni is, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. They were big, hulking monsters, and you can show it if you want to. They had big, hairy knees, big bellies, red or green faces, sharp teeth, and horns on their heads. And they lived on their own island. It was even named after them. It was called Onigashima. And periodically, they would sail toward Japan from their island in search of their favorite treats. And in order to get these treats, they had to kidnap the children, because what they were looking for were tasty baby belly buttons. Yes, that's the truth. Well, in one of those villages that was terrorized by those onis periodically, there lived an old couple. And they were very happy together, except for one thing: they had no children. And even though many years had gone by, sometimes each of them would think about, if only. The old woman would say to herself, if only I had a daughter. I would teach her how to make the best kibi dango in the country of Japan. And if you didn't know, kibi dango are delicious dumplings. And that old woman was a very good cook. But her husband would say, "Oh, if only we had a son, I would teach him how to use a samurai sword so that he could defend the people who were weak and helpless." Well, that's what they said to themselves. And one day, as the old woman was down by the river washing her clothes, you could show it if you want to, the old man was up working in the field. Well, she happened to look upstream, and what did she see bouncing down in the water? And you could show that too if you want to, but a beautiful, perfectly round watermelon. And as it bounced closer, she thought, "Oh, my husband would love to have that while he works in the hot sun." And so she waded out into the water, and she was able to get hold of that watermelon. And she carried it in her arms, and she ran as fast as she could go up to the field where her husband was working. "Husband, husband, look what I found in the river. It's a delicious watermelon, and it's even still cold from the water." And her husband said, "Let's break it open and eat it right now." And so she put it down, and he took out his big knife, and he was about ready to bring it down on the watermelon when they heard coming from inside the watermelon. "Wait, wait," the old woman said. They carefully picked up the watermelon. They broke it in half as gently as they could. And there, nestled inside the watermelon, was a beautiful, perfect baby girl. Oh, just what we've always wanted. They gently carried the little baby home to their house, and she became their little girl. And because they had discovered her inside a melon, they called her Uriko Hime, which means melon princess. And she was an amazing little girl. And to tell you the truth, she grew much faster than other children. And by the time she was only 5 years old, and you could show that if you want to, let's try it. 5 years old, she was already making kibidongo with her mother. And she was already learning how to fight with a samurai sword from her father. Well, one day, when Uriko and her mother were in the village getting some food, a terrible thing happened. The people heard a strange noise coming from down the road. It went like this: "Belly buttons, tasty baby belly buttons." Oh no, it was the Oni. They were coming with their cart to kidnap all the children and babies they could get a hold of. Everybody scattered in all the directions. Oh no, the mothers tried to protect their babies, but those Oni were just too big and too powerful. They took as many babies as they could. They put them in their cart, and they started hulking away up the road again. Belly buttons, tasty baby belly buttons. Oh no! Oh, the parents were crying. They were weeping and moaning, but what could they do? You know what was strange though? Those Oni did not take Uriko. Now, I think it was because they instinctively knew she did not have a belly button because she was born inside a melon, right? Well, she was so angry about what they had done. And you can show how angry she was if you want to. Oh, she turned to her mother and she said, "I'm going to rescue those babies." And as soon as they got home, she went right to her father and she said, "Father, please make me a sword. I'm going to leave tomorrow. I'm going to rescue those babies from the Oni." And to her mother, she said, "Mother, please make me a big bag of kibidongo so I have food to eat on my journey." Well, her parents said, Uriko, you can't do that. You're only 5 years old. But she wouldn't hear anything about it. She was determined to go. And after they went back and forth, her parents said, all right, you can go, but only if you take the dog with you. And so Uriko Hime said, yes, I will take the dog. And the next morning, with a big bag of kibidongo on her shoulders, you could show it if you want to, and with a samurai sword strapped tightly around her waist, she headed out with the dog at her side down the road. And as they walked down the road, they made up a song about what they were going to do. And here's how it went. Down the road, down the road, down the road we go. Are we scared of the Oni? No, no, no. Well, as they went farther down the road, the smell of those delicious fresh kibidongo went up into the air. And a pheasant, which just happened to be swooping by, smelled that kibidongo and swooped low right down in front of Uriko and said, ooh, give me a kibidongo. Yes, you can show it if you want to. And Uriko said, well, we are going to rescue the babies from those wicked Oni. And if you will come and help us, we will share our kibidongo with you. And with that, she pulled out a delicious kibidongo, tossed it toward the pheasant, who gobbled it up at once. And the pheasant said, oh, I'm in. Let's go. And so the three of them went down the road together, with the pheasant flying in the air, of course. And they sang that song as they went. Down the road, down the road, down the road we go. Are we scared of the Oni? No, no, no. And soon they came to the forest, and they went deeper and deeper on a little path through the forest. And then the smell of that delicious kibidongo floated up into the trees. And who should come swinging down from the trees? But a monkey. The monkey said, I smell kibidongo. Give me some. Uriko said, Mr. Monkey, we are going to Onigashima to rescue the babies from the wicked Oni, and we could use your help. If you come with us, we'll share our kibidongo with you. And then she pulled out a kibidongo and she threw it up to the monkey. Whoop. That is so delicious. I feel as strong as 10 monkeys. I'm going along. And so the four of them went together, the dog, the pheasant, the monkey, and Uriko Hime, down the road, down the road, down the road, down the road we go. Are we scared of the Oni? No, no, no. Well, you know, the most amazing thing happened. When they finally got to the seashore, there was a boat, just as if it had been left there, especially for them. And so they got into the boat and they sailed across to the island of the Oni. And there it was, with tall, you can show it if you want to, tall cliffs rising up. There was a zigzag path going up. And at the top of the cliff was the palace of the Oni. They traveled up that zigzag path. They went to the door of the Oni's castle and they knocked. And as soon as they did, the head Oni came to the door, opened it up. Who's there? Well, they looked up. They could see the hairy knees. They could see the big fat belly. And they could see the horns of the Oni up ahead. but they were so small compared to him, he didn't see them at all. They just ran between his legs, right into the courtyard of the castle. And there they saw the babies in a little corral. They were all tied up and they were all crying, "Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, hoo. Let's try it. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, hoo-hoo." And the Oni were dancing around that corral and singing their Oni belly button song. Belly buttons, tasty belly buttons. Ooh, Uriko called out to those Oni. She said, "We demand that you give those babies to us." Well, the Oni looked around. Who dares to speak to us in that disrespectful manner? But they couldn't see Uriko and her friends because they were so small. They looked everywhere. And finally they saw them. Why? They went and got their big clubs. You could show them if you want to. "We will crush you like ants." Then Uriko said, "Go to work, my valiant comrades." And then the dog ran around and started biting those Oni on their toes. And when they tried to hit the dog with their clubs, they hit themselves in the toe instead. Ah! Oh, that hurts. Then the monkey started climbing up their hairy legs and biting them on their hairy knees. Arr, arr, ah! And they tried to hit him hit the monkey on their knees. Boom, ah! But instead they hit themselves in the knee. It really hurt a lot. And then the pheasant started swooping down toward their eyes. And as they tried to hit the pheasant in the air, they hit each other on the head with their clubs until they were all lying on the ground, half knocked out. And then Uriko said, "Now, you must give us those babies. If you do, we'll leave you alone and go in peace." This time, the Oni, their heads hurt, their knees hurt, their toes hurt. They said, "Oh." Then she said, "You must promise before we go that you will never come and bother us again." And the Oni said, "Oh, all right. Just go and leave us alone." Those big crybabies. They cried so much, Uriko had to give each one of them a kibidongo just to get them to stop. And in the meantime, the pheasant and the monkey had explored around in the castle, and they found many bags of gold that the Oni had stolen from the people. So they brought out those bags of gold. Uriko freed the babies. They carried babies and gold down that zigzag path from the castle to their boat. They loaded all the gold in, and they nestled the babies right on top of those bags. And then they set sail for home. They traveled across the sea, and when they finally got to their own village, there was a big celebration. It was amazing. Everybody danced and sang all together. And Uriko gave those bags of gold to her parents, and they searched and searched for who the gold could have belonged to. They returned as much of it as they could. But with the rest that was still there, they shared it with all the families in their village. And from that day forward, the pheasant and the monkey moved in with their family. And so on winter nights, when they gathered around the fire, Uriko and the pheasant and the monkey and the dog would share the story about how they rescued the babies from the wicked Oni. And that's the end of that. And now, let's go see what Nicole has to say about all of this.
Thank you, Karen. I love that story. And you know something that I love about both puppeteering and storytelling? You can do it anywhere at any time. And the story that Karen just told really makes me want to be outside. There's so many beautiful images of nature. The river, the watermelon, the ocean, the boat, the oni. And so I came outside to play today because, like I said, you can puppeteer anywhere. And today we'll be talking a little bit about nature puppets. And I have a friend here who's going to help us do that. So I would like to introduce you to my friend, Speedy Mollusk the snail. Let's hear it for Speedy. Come on up, Speedy. Come on up, Speedy. 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 Okay, let's give him a little time. Speedy. Oh, here he comes. Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Speedy. We're so glad you're here. Thanks. I'm glad to be here. Now, Speedy, do you like to play with toys? Oh, yes. Do you keep them in your house like I do? Oh, no. No? Why not? I don't like bumpy, sharp things in my home. It's also my bed and it pokes me. Oh, I see. That wouldn't be very nice if you had that all in there. Mm-mm. So, what do you play with? Oh, I play with nature treasures outside. What a great idea. So, like, see those leaves up there? Yeah. Should we just like rip some down so we can play with them? No. Why not? Those are still alive. Oh, yeah. You want to find nature treasures on the ground, like they fell already. I see. Well, guess what, Speedy? What? I actually did collect a bunch of nature treasures that I found on the ground. Whoa, would you like to see them? Yes. Okay, we're going to show everybody what we have here. Whoa, lots and lots. Yes, I'm going to show you a few things. This is a palm frond. Peekaboo. Yes, you fit right in there, huh? Now, I'm going to tip this so you all can see what's in there. And if anyone has a suggestion for what I should pull out of there or what Speedy should pull out of there, I'm going to open up my chat. You can write it in the chat if you see something that you want me to take out. And Speedy, in the meanwhile, you can pick the first thing. What would you like to take out first? The green leaf. Okay. Oh, look, it's 2 green leaves. Wow, that's pretty neat. Okay, what else is in there? Oh, somebody sees some orange ribbon. That's not from nature. No, it's not, but sometimes we leave things on the ground accidentally and then the birds will use it to make their nests. Oh, somebody else mentions the pine cone. Yep, I see it. Okay, pull it on out. Oh, let me hold that. That's really big. Yes, it is. And there's so much more in here. Let's see. What else do you see, Speedy? I see. Again, I cannot understand you when your mouth is full. Sorry. A piece of wood. Yep, we've got wood. And oh my gosh, what is this? Do you know what this is? That's avocado skin. Sure is. Can you find the avocado pit? Oh, that's not the avocado pit. It looks kind of like one, but this is some other kind of seed from a tree. See if you can find the avocado pit. I think you found it. Yup, that's an avocado pit. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. Okay, what else is in there? Ooh, I see walnuts. Yes, some walnuts. More ribbon too. Oh. Okay, we got a walnut shell and we've got more ribbon. And oh, what's that in the corner? Down here? Yeah, oh, be careful, be careful. Oh, it's a snail shell. It's empty. Be very gentle with that, would you? Sure, Speedy. I'll just put it right back in my box so it can be gentle. And I'm just going to show you a few more things. Here is a seed pod I love because it looks like it has an open mouth. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. And here is a rock. Wow, what you gonna do with all those nature treasures? I'm so glad you asked. I'm a puppeteer, so I'm going to play with my nature treasures. And I'm going to be inspired by that wonderful story that Karen told us. Yeah. So I'm going to show you and you how we can use our nature treasures to make a nature puppet show. Speedy, would you please have a seat over there so you can watch me? Sure. Do you mind if I help you over just a little quicker? Okay. All right. Over there you go. Thank you, Speedy. All right. Now we are going to pretend play with the story of the watermelon princess. But things may change a little because when you're inspired by a story and then you go play, you can experiment and you can change things and you can make it work however you like. So the first thing we need to do is gather materials. Well, we did it. The second thing we need to do is choose our space. I'm sitting in my backyard. You really only need a little bit of nature space to play in. So maybe you'll do this after the show today and you can find a little place of nature somewhere near you. And the next thing you need to do is think about the story if you're going to play the story. So I'm going to try to remember the characters. If you can remember some characters, you can put them in the chat or you can just think them to yourself as I tell you them again. We had Uriko, right? Of course, our heroine, our main character, the watermelon princess. And we had the mother. Oh, sorry, the old woman. Thank you. Somebody put that suggestion and somebody wrote the monkey. Very good. And do you remember what was flying? We had a pheasant. So when I think of these characters, I'm going to start thinking which nature treasures can pretend or can portray those characters, can pretend to be those characters. And I think what I'm going to use for the mother, I'm going to use a stick, but I am going to tie. I keep calling her a mother because she becomes a mother, but she starts out as a woman who would like to have a child. So I'm going to tie this ribbon around the stick, and here is my woman. Ta-da! And I would really like to have a man as well. He was very important in this story. And do you remember what the old man did? He was a farmer, right? Okay, so here's the old man. And I think I'll leave the other characters until I need them. I'm going to put all my nature treasures back into my box. And as I play, I will select what I want out of my box. And now comes my first favorite part of the story, the part that really sticks in my mind. Do you remember how the old woman is washing her clothes in the river? Well, I love to play with water. So I'm going to bring some water out for us to play with. Some water in a nice little bucket. And here you can see it. And you don't really need to see me much because my story takes place here. This is my stage. You hear that? It is so fun to play with water. Okay, so once upon a time, there was an old woman washing her clothes in the river. And now we have to send something down the river for her to find, right? So, let's see, I don't have a watermelon. What am I going to use? I think I'm going to use my avocado shell, and I'm going to put a princess in there. I think I'll put the pit in there. She'll be the princess. She'll be an avocado princess. And I don't know if this is going to work. It has to float, right? I'm going to put the top back on the avocado. Let's see if it floats. The suspense. Ooh. One floated and one didn't. That is so interesting. Okay, so I'm going to try to take this one. And now I'm going to have this float down the river. Here comes the avocados. Oh, goodness. What is that? It's a humongous avocado. I think I will take that to my husband for lunch. And she reaches down and she grabs that avocado out of the water. Oh, and we do a quick scene change. And now our space becomes the farmland, and we need our man, and he's farming the land. He's digging holes, and you can find other little nature treasures right around you, like maybe this leaf, and pretend it's a seed, and you can bury it like that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I found a gigantic watermelon. Oh, just in time. I'm really hungry. Yes, let's have it for lunch. Okay, you put it down right there. Okay. Put down the avocado. And I'll take my great big, sharp, dangerous knife and stab the avocado to open it up. Oh, that sounds great. Go ahead. Hi. Wait, stop. Stop. I hear something. Ooh, let me open it carefully. Ooh, a baby. Oh, let me see. A little baby girl. Oh, we shall name her Uriko. Okay, let's go home with Uriko. So off they go, home with Uriko. And Uriko grows older, and she learns from her father how to fight with a sword, and she learns from her mother how to make dumplings. And sorry, just reading some chat notes. I'm gonna turn the chat off for a second. Okay, so she goes home, and she grows up really quickly, right? And she finds out that the Oni are stealing babies to eat their belly buttons. So I need some Oni puppets. Let's see what's in my box. I already know what I want to use for my Oni. Here's one terrifying Oni. Oh, and I need an Oni castle. So I'm gonna find another spot right near me. I'm gonna turn my computer a little. Look at this wonderful stepping stone that just happens to be in my space. I think that would make a nice castle for my Oni. So to make it look a little more like a castle, I'm just gonna stick a few sticks in here to give it like some walls, something that marks where my castle is. Maybe makes it a little bit harder to get in. Ooh, that's my mother. That's not my stick for the fortress. Ooh, look at this big stick. We'll put one more right there. Okay, here's my castle. And here are my Oni in there. Oh, there's Oni number 1. What else can I use? I'm gonna use this guy. Tasty baby belly buttons. And I'm gonna get one more Oni because it has to be a real challenge. I'm gonna use this rock. Smash, smash, smash. And then we need to have some babies that are being held inside the castle. And so I'm going to use my walnut shells for that. And oh, for Speedy, I'll use this little baby snail. I wonder if the snail's baby has a belly button. We'll put it right in there. Okay, now we need somebody to save those babies. So Uriko is not going to go alone. She needs at least to have her dog. That's what her parents said. You can go if you take your dog. Oh, here's our dog. Oh, he's a very happy dog. He even has a little tail. Waggy, 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 waggy. All right. And on their way, they meet some more friends. They meet a monkey. And the monkey goes with them. And a pheasant swoops in. And together they head over to the palace. And they sneak in. And nobody sees them because they're so little. And then they see the babies and they want to save them. But suddenly, the Oni are going to attack. So the dog starts biting the toes. Yip, 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 yip. And the monkey starts biting the knees. Har, har, har. And the pheasant starts pecking at the eyes. Peck, 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 peck. And Uriko sweeps in, grabs the babies, puts them on the monkey, and they get away. They have to sail back over the ocean. We're going to put our ocean back because I wonder now if we can get the monkey to float. We had a little trouble with the avocado. Let's see if the monkey floats. We're going to start with the monkey. Monkey floats. Let's see what happens if we add a snail shell. Still floats. Dog. Still floats. How many babies can we carry? 1, 2, 3, and the snail was 4. So the only one that's missing is the pheasant, who can fly. So the pheasant doesn't really have to go on there. And Uriko. Let's see if we can get Uriko on there. Yes, we did it. Okay, this is so fun. Okay, so they took a dip. Uriko went swimming. and they go all the way back home safely with the babies. And of course, they have a big celebration, and all the babies are returned, and everyone is happy. So happy that at the festival, they have a big celebration and they have lots and lots of dumplings. So if you want to add to your playtime, you can now make some dumplings. And this is how we're going to do that. I'm going to find a little dirt. I'm going to add a little water. Only need 2 ingredients for these dumplings. You just need dirt and water. And if you don't like getting your hands dirty, then you can use a stick and you can stir up your mud with a stick. But I actually really like to feel the dirt, so I'm gonna get right in there. Oh, that is some good mud. Mud can be very different. It can smell different. It can feel different. This one's very grainy. There's a lot of rough things in there, some sticks and leaves and little stones. I'm gonna squeeze out the extra water. Look at my dumpling. Might be a little flatter than traditional dumplings. I'm gonna set it over here. Wait, gotta wash my hands so I can touch my computer. Sorry. There we go. I'm gonna set it over here to dry. And now I have dumplings. Have to wash my hand again. Just gonna stick it in my water and dry off. There we go. It is so fun to play in nature. I hope that you get a chance to go outside and play with whatever is around you in whatever space you have. And if you ever go on trips, you can play outside. And if you're ever just waiting, like for the bus or anything else, and you see a little bit of dirt, you can play there too. And who knows, maybe you'll find a new kind of prince or princess in a nature treasure. So with that, I'd like to leave you and wish you, if you celebrate Easter, a very happy Easter. And otherwise, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
That was so much fun. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Nicole. I'm now hungry for dumplings and watermelon. So join us next month on the first Sunday of May for another, this is an Aztec creation story from Mexico called The Fifth Sun. And in the meantime, there's plenty of day left, so go outside and play. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.